All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thursday night football, week number 9. We got the New York Jets taking on the Houston Texans. In today's video, I'm going to dive into this game. I'm going to give you my lean on the side. I'll give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about a few player props that I'm liking in this game as well. But as always, guys, keep an eye on the pinned comment. If you do want to fade me, all of my final plays will be listed in the pinned comment for free. So make sure to keep an eye on that. In terms of how we did last week, we got the cha-ching. We're pumping in some crowd noise. Now it's bookend. It's bookended by a couple bad nights. Thursday night football, we drop 1.5 units. Monday night football, we drop 0.75 units. But on Sunday, we go 8-0. 8-0. I don't think we've ever had a Sunday in the NFL like that. So this is like a really good sandwich, but the bread on the edge is a little bit stale. It still is great, guys. An 8-0 Sunday. I'll say that again, an 8-0 Sunday. So yes, Thursday night, Monday night, not exactly great. We can dwell on the George Pickens plays. We had him over 4.5 receptions. He ended with 4. We had him anytime touchdown. He pretty much caught 2 touchdowns. One comes back because of a face mask, and then the other one is when he got the same foot in twice, but didn't get 2 feet in. I don't know about that rule, but nonetheless, still can't complain. We picked up over 5 units on the weekend, now up over 20 units this NFL season. So very, very excited about that. But let's go ahead and dive into this game. Before we do, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. We are getting closer and closer and closer to 100,000 subscribers. I can't believe it, guys. This is crazy to see. So hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. I don't take any of this for granted, and I really never will. So if you are new, subscribe to the channel, get us to 100K. But we got the Jets here sitting at 1.5 point favorites at home. Total sitting at 42. I've seen some 42.5s out there, so keep that in mind. All right, guys, real quick, Sleeper is still offering the 200% deposit match as of right now. It's going through October, so time is running out to head over to Sleeper, sign up, deposit, and get a 200% deposit match. Meaning if you deposit $100, you'll have $300 in your account to play with. You deposit 50, you'll have 150 in your account. You little mathematician, you can do the math too. You're essentially 3 timesing the money that you put in. And you're gonna get an Aaron Rodgers 0.5 yard square for this Thursday night game. Go check out Sleeper. That link is in the pinned comment as well as the description. What I love about Sleeper is that each and every play you throw into your entry can change the payout. They don't just follow the fixed payout structure like a lot of other apps out there. 2 for 2 is 3x. No. Sleeper, each and every pick can change the payout. It's really, really cool. Go check it out, guys. That link is in the pinned comment as well as the description. You get the Aaron Rodgers free square as well as a 200% deposit match. No brainer. Let's get back to the show. Jets come into this one off 5 straight losses. Now, they've been against some decent teams, but most notably last week they lose to the Patriots 25-20. They're 2-6 this season against the spread as well as straight up. At home, 1-2, so not even all that great. But you have Houston, on the other hand, 6-2, 3-4-1 against the spread. So definitely a different team against the number. But on the road, just 2-2 this season. They're 4-0 at home, and on the road, 2-2. So maybe they take a little bit of a dip here, and you might be asking, why is the 6-2 team, getting points against this 2-6 team? I think a lot of it has to do with the injury report here, and injuries that we know of, starting on the Texans side of things. Stephon Diggs leaves last game. He is ruled out of this game. They're already out without Nico Collins. They have Al Shahir, a few other guys on their defense that is banged up. So I do think that Stephon Diggs news kind of knocks them down a peg, because all of a sudden it's like, no Nico Collins. Okay, well, you still have Diggs and Tank Dell. Now you're going to have Tank Dell, Robert Woods, and Hutchinson. Like, not the best receiver core. They do have John Mechie, who they got a little bit involved last week, but nonetheless, Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins both out. Your number 1 and 2, 1A, 1B receivers not in this game. But on the New York side of things, we see a ton of question marks, especially on the defense. Like, all but a couple positions, these guys are questionable. Now, questionable in week 9 of the NFL season is nothing crazy, right? Like, guys can be questionable, they'll be limited in practice, and then they play. As long as we're not seeing out or doubtful, that type of thing, a lot of the times these guys do play, but definitely keep an eye on that. You have Quinn Williams, you have McDonald, I think Quincy is playing, Hassan Reddick, questionable. Like, a lot of questionable players here, so just keep an eye on that before before you do end up rolling with anything. Keep an eye on the pinned comment because we will wait out some of these injuries as well. But from an injury standpoint, both teams do have some notables. Aaron Rodgers is even questionable, Alan Lazard on the offensive end, but we do know that Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins both are not playing, and I think it's going to be a huge hit for the Texans here. So let's get into our spread pick here. One thing that I will note is that both teams kind of have specialties in some areas. In fact, if we dive into our dashboard here, guys, if you want access to this dashboard, this might even be a better look here. This is for channel members, $2.99 per month to get access to this. We have every single game broken out from a statistics perspective, as well as a DVOA and then some player prop information down here. But one thing I want to note is that Houston, the 7th best ranked overall DVOA team, 20th when it comes to offense, though, passing their 20th, run their 25th. But you look at what they have on the offensive end for passing now. That 20th was including, Stephon Diggs and I guess even Nico before he got injured. Defensively, they should be pretty damn sound. They're 2nd in defensive DVOA, 3rd in pass, 4th in rush. But the Jets, on the other side of things, they do have a few things that I want to note. The 2nd best passing defense in terms of passing yards per game. They're getting passed on the 6th fewest frequency, so obviously that's going to impact it as well. But look at them at home this season. Now, again, it's only a couple games, but just 12 points per game allowed at home. I think that is massive. Just 110 passing yards allowed a game at home. So should be a decent spot for their defense if a lot of those questionable guys do play. Now, I will say, even at home, right, what did I say, the 1-1, they're 1-2, but they played New England, all right, not a big deal. They played Denver, not a big deal. They played Buffalo, and Josh Allen does ultimately end up winning that game, but Josh Allen doesn't have a phenomenal game. 19 of 25, 215, 2 touchdowns. He didn't move the ball too much, but he didn't necessarily need to, right? 215 passing yards isn't that crazy, but like I said, I wanted to at least give context there. He only had 6 incompletions. He had no interceptions, 2 touchdowns. So even though we see that number 1 rank for Jets pass defense at home, it's taken into account Jacoby Brissett. It's taken into account Bo Nix. And then Josh Allen, who had an efficient game, just didn't put up a huge number. But nonetheless, still worth noting here. Now, this Texans defense is a focus of mine here. Again, the 2nd best in terms of DVOA rankings, 3rd best against the pass, 4th against the rush. So we looked into some of their pressure numbers and, blitzing rates and whatnot. They don't blitz a ton. They are the 8th highest team at a 32.3% pressure rate, which is very important. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers versus no pressure and pressure, kind of two different guys. Top 3 in sack percentage as well, and 9th in QB hits. Now, I will say, the Jets' offensive line, in terms of protecting Aaron Rodgers, has been up and down plenty this season, but overall allowing it looks like they're allowing the 11th fewest sacks, the 6th fewest QB hurries. They are allowing a decent amount of QB hits, 26th, which the Texans 9th in that category. So we could see some pressure in Aaron Rodgers' face. And obviously, Vera Tucker and Moses also questionable on the offensive line. So a couple things to note there, offensive line being injured, and this Texans defense does challenge that offensive line pretty damn well. But overall, I don't necessarily think Aaron Rodgers is going to be in too much of harm's way. His pressure numbers do drop. So on the season, he's got a 65% completion percentage against no pressure. It drops to just under 50 against pressure. Yards per attempt goes from 6.7 to 6.4. EPA per dropback goes from 0.09 to negative 0.26. So there is a drop off, maybe not all that much. And the one thing that I want to focus on here, in fact, we can dive into the dashboard again. You'll notice this Houston defense, red zone touchdown percentage this season when they're on the road, and then in their last 3 games, they are in the bottom 3rd and bottom 2nd, in this case, last 3 in terms of red zone efficiency. You'll see that this isn't the best red zone offense when it comes to, obviously, the Jets are kind of middle of the pack. At home, they haven't been all that great. Last 3 games, 20th. But overall, that's a glaring weakness in this Texans defense, and I think it's going to impact this game and kind of result in us looking at it a few different ways. So my spread pick in this one, honestly, because of that red zone efficiency on the defensive end, I think I'm going to look at the Jets here minus the 1.5. Now, I don't know if that's crazy. I haven't seen too many other people's picks on this one yet, but overall, like, if Aaron Rodgers can navigate the pocket and not get pressured, I think he's going to get into the red zone and look pretty damn good. Now, we've seen some quarterbacks have decent games against this Houston team, especially in the red zone. I mean, Anthony Richardson threw for 2 touchdowns against them in week number 1. Last week, he kind of stunk out loud. Jordan Love, 3 touchdowns. Drake May, 3 touchdowns. Sam Darnold had 4 passing touchdowns. Like, Like, if quarterbacks get in the red zone against this Houston team, a lot of the time they are scoring TDs, which is going to be massive for this Jets team. So I do like the Jets minus the 1.5. Almost solely because of that red zone flaw in the Texans defense. And then you throw in the fact that I'm not exactly sure where their passing offense is going to come from with Diggs and Collins out. Like, I'm not huge on Tank Dell and Dalton Schultz and Hutchinson or Robert Woods, or even, if Mechie gets involved. Like, I don't think that this is that high powered with two absolute titans out. So give me the Jets minus the 1.5 in this spot. In terms of a total at 42, I think the Jets can put up a decent number, but I don't know if it's enough to get over that 42 line. This should be a spot in which, Joe Mixon, especially with their passing game kind of lacking, Joe Mixon should be able to have a decent game here. In terms of the defensive end of rushing yards per game, this Jets team seems to be getting worse to some degree, 23rd in terms of rushing yards per game rank in the last 3 games. So Joe Mixon should be able to move the ball. This is a Houston team that passes a lot, but I don't know if they will do that now. So if we have a running back going, I think it's going to chew some clock. So I almost reluctantly lean towards the under 42.5. I could see this being like a Jets 21-17 type of a win, 24 to, I guess 17. That's like something cutting it pretty damn close, but just not enough. Now, if I had to pick which one I like more, if I had a gun to my head, I would pick the Jets and probably pick them on the money line versus that total, but still, it is where my head is at as of right now. Now, before we do get into the player props, I want to talk to you guys about the store we have here on the channel. We have tons of new products. I'm rocking the Fall 24 rope hat as well as the premium crew neck as of right now. I'll show you guys a couple more of the products we have. The Gambler Collection, again, Fall 24 just dropped. We have a Super Comfort hoodie. We have the rope hat. It comes in multiple different colors. 10% off if you sign up and give us your email and get some exclusive offers. We have the Windbreaker, which is pretty damn good quality. Again, we test everything, go through samples. This is not just a brand in which we take a bad piece of garment and slap a stupid logo on it. No, like this is embroidered. We have really premium quality. Here is the crew neck. But guys, tons of stuff over on fademe.store if you do want to check it out. Help support us, help us grow, and you get something tangible in return, like one of our best sellers of all time, the Fade Me Athletics tee there. But go ahead and check it out, guys. That link is going to be in the pinned comment. Again, just sign up, give us the email, and that's all you need. We don't need any personal information or anything like that. You're going to get a 10% off code. Go ahead and check it out. We use those emails for new product drops and exclusive offers to the email list, so it's nothing about spam or anything like that. But go ahead and check it out, guys. fademe.store. Let's jump into some player props now. We're going to jump into the outlier screen. I'll tell you about that in a second, but I like Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Now, admittedly, I lean towards the Jets. I lean towards the under. I think that this game has a lot of question marks on the Texans end, and even a lot of question marks on the Jets side of things. Like, I don't know if Breece Hall is going to be able to have some success against this Houston team. So this may be more of a player prop driven week, to be honest, because it could be kind of a wonky game. But Aaron Rodgers for plus 115 here, I'm loving. He's hit this in 3 of his last 4 games here. He's hit it in 5 of his 8 games so far on this season. And you look at this, they're allowing the 5th most passing touchdowns against, and I already talked about it, Sam Darnold, even Richardson in week 1. We've seen plenty of guys, Drake May, like we've seen plenty of quarterbacks throw for multiple touchdowns against this Houston team. You can see it's even backed up here with the outlier defensively, red zone efficiency 30th. So I do like this spot. They have a very good passing defense overall, running defense, all that type of thing. But I think for a passing touchdown, get Aaron Rodgers in the red zone, and he's going to find his guys. Now, speaking of his guys, I don't know how crazy we want to get here, but I'm considering Devontae Adams over 0.5 touchdowns, so just to catch one, right? Same thing with Garrett Wilson at plus 185. Look at Houston, 2 wide receivers, allowing the 3rd most or 4th most touchdowns to the wide receiver position this season. We haven't really seen Devontae Adams get involved. In fact, if we look at the red zone targets here, he's going to be way down there because he's only been on the team a couple weeks. But he had 1 red zone target a couple weeks ago against Pittsburgh. He had 2 red zone targets last week. But Aaron Rodgers is going to continuously look for him, and he only needs to catch one of these targets. Now, on the side of Garrett Wilson, sources sort of the same thing. Now, he's had a decent year, right? 3 touchdowns on the season, not all that spectacular, but he does, in fact, lead the team by far in red zone targets. So I think if we take both of these guys, I mean, dream scenarios, we go Aaron Rodgers over 1.5 touchdowns, Garrett Wilson touchdown, Devontae Adams touchdown, and Aaron Rodgers passes 1 to each of those. That cashes the 2 touchdowns as well as gets each of these guys 1. But even if, one of these guys catches one and the other doesn't, it kind of mitigates the loss of the other one, right? We'd still make a profit as long as the unit size is the same. So I'm looking at both of the number 1 and, number 2, but 1A, 1B receivers for Aaron Rodgers for plus money here for his passing touchdowns. Again, I really do like this plus 115 because of the lack thereof of red zone efficiency on the Houston side of things. Now, guys, if you want access to this tool, this is called Outlier. They have all of the props. I have it filtered to this game right now, but you can go through, see their last 5, last 10, head-to-head, 2024 rank. You can go into all of these, like, if you wanted to look at Tyler Conklin under 13.5 for his longest reception, you can look at how he did last year, head-to-head, how he has done this year. You can even go through, look at his target share, look at his red zone target share, his yards per, average yards after the catch, yards after the catch, average yards per reception, targets, receptions. So much data is in this tool, and you get it for 7 days free with the link in the pinned comment. You're also going to use this tool, and afterwards, after that 7-day trial, you're going to be like, oh, well, they probably got me, right? It's going to cost a boatload of money. No. $19.99 per month if you pay monthly for this after the fact. So if you hit a couple bets using Outlier, it pays for itself. So go ahead and check it out. Guys, one really cool thing I want to mention too, say we do like that Tyler Conklin play, right? You can head in, and I want to just show this real time. You can head in and say, okay, well, BetMGM minus 110, it has the best odds, right? You click this, you could scan it on your phone if that's what you prefer, or you say continue in browser. It's going to open this tool up and put it in, well, it's not available on MGM anymore. There we go. Let's see. Caesars. It's going to open this up and put it right in your bet slip. You do not have to go digging for it. It's pretty damn cool. So go check out Outlier, guys. That link is in the pinned comment. 7 days free. But yeah, I lean Jets minus the 1.5, largely because, they need to win, but also the injuries to the Texans and that red zone efficiency drop off for the Texans. I lean the under because I think that the Texans will elect to run the ball. I think it'll chew some clock, but I think it's going to be a player prop type of a game. I like Aaron Rodgers over his touchdowns, as well as Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson. And that's going to wrap it up for today's show. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment 16 if you made it this far in the video. 16 minutes. Appreciate the heck out of you guys. Almost at 100,000 subscribers. It's just a milestone. We're not going to, act like it's over and we can get content, but it's nice to stop and smell the roses. And I see that rose down the walkway, and I'm trying to walk to it. We'll get there soon enough. I am confident. So go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, comment 16. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.